Well, today we are going to spark your job search, give you some really great ideas on where to find jobs, maybe some resources you've never even heard of, okay? So let's get started. My name is Lori, and I'm with the Wichita Workforce Center, but that's all I'm going to tell you right now. A little bit later, we're going to tell you and show you how to do an introduction and how to network. Who wants to volunteer and read this for us today? Any brave souls? Yes, please.
To accomplish great things, we must not only act, but also dream, not only plan, but also believe.
And for us right now, maybe that great thing that we want to accomplish is getting a job, okay? And so when we work to get a job, we have to work at it. We have to develop a plan because most jobs do not just fall in our lap, do they? Right? And so we've got to also believe that we're going to get that next job. And here's something we all might already know. Job searching is something that we're going to do more than once in our lifetime. And especially right now with the economy the way it is, we might be doing it a lot of times in our lifetime. Also, there's no one right way to do a job search. It's not a science. There is an art to it. But you don't have to know how to paint beautiful paintings to do a job search. And you know what? There's always going to be mysterious. Who here has applied for jobs and then never heard back, never heard a word, right? What happens to our applications? We don't know. A lot of times those employers might already have someone in mind, right? I want to encourage you, don't take that rejection as failure because you are not a failure. You've got to get back out there and job search. It takes persistence and consistency. So what I'd like to do now is talk about some traits that successful people tend to demonstrate. For example, successful people who think successfully feel in control. And you know what? There are things out there that we cannot control. The economy, for one, right? Sometimes there's multiple or dozens of people applying for the same job you are. Can you control that? No. But something you can control is your belief in yourself. You can control the amount of work you put into your own job search. Okay? Take credit for your achievements, even your small wins. You guys made it here today. There are a lot of people who did not. Congratulations for being here. That is a success. View that as a success. A lot of little successes will lead to the great big one, which in this case would be getting a job. Be motivated to act on your problems. And you know what? Sometimes we'll watch the news and all we see is negativity, unemployment's high, layoffs are coming. But guess what? There are jobs out there for you. You have to go and find them, okay? You are valuable and you have value to a potential employer. Know what it is you have to offer and what you bring to the table. Change your false beliefs, and we're going to talk about that here in just a second. Think and know that your situation is temporary. A lot of us have been unemployed for quite some time, maybe even a year or two. That's temporary. Keep working to get that next job and change your situation. Try wholeheartedly. Sometimes we apply for jobs for 6 months and we get really discouraged because we haven't heard anything back. Keep going. Put your full effort into finding a job. And I'm going to show you some really great resources on where you can find jobs. Also, make that commitment because the bottom line is what we think about ourselves determines what we do. Okay? How we believe in ourselves will determine if we're going to be successful in our job search or not. Give yourself options and alternatives because by doing that, you're going to give your job search hope. Describe yourself in more than one way. Maybe you've had one type of job your entire life, and so that's how you view yourself. Maybe food service, for example. Well, you're not just a food service worker because you probably learned some really great customer service skills. Know to describe yourself as a customer service professional. If you've had food service in the past, you know a lot of those skills relate to healthcare. Maybe now you have your CNA. How can those experiences in food service translate into you being a great medical care professional? Okay. have more than one type of resume. Did you know there's lots and lots of resumes you can use? Your resume will probably look different from yours, which will look different from yours, but there's no reason why all three of those cannot be as effective as the other. Just know how to effectively market yourself with your resume. And if you haven't had to write a resume in a really long time, or maybe you never have, come to the Workforce Center. We offer great resume classes from the basics to advanced. And those classes are no cost to you. Look for more than one type of job. Expand your job search. If you're looking for just one job and now you're looking for 2 jobs, you've just doubled your job search. You've doubled your chance of getting a really wonderful job. Consider the options. And do not obsess about all the depressing statistics that we see on the news, because we see them every night, don't we? You watch a news program, what's the first thing they talk about? Something bad. Something bad happened in the neighborhood. Right? Don't obsess on all the layoffs and all the bad news you hear about the jobs, because the job situation is better than they make it out to be. First things first, if you have not thought about how great of a person you are or the wonderful opportunities and skills that you bring to the table, now is the time to start doing that. In fact, on one of your handouts, you have one. When you get home today, start looking at this. Start getting your mind thinking about all the wonderful things you have to offer. Here you go. Here's another one for you. That's okay. Think about those assets you have. If you are considering a career change and you don't know what direction to go, here's a really great assessment that might be able to help you out. It's called the Kansas Career Pipeline. You would take a quick, fun assessment on your personality, on your skills and your interests, and based on those answers, you get a really great assessment of what career fields you would work best in. Of course, we all want jobs that make us happy, don't we? So take a few minutes, maybe 20 or 30 minutes to do this assessment and find out which direction you need to go next.
Where's the website?
You have a handout here that has the website on it.
It's like que what are your skills?
Yes, what are your skills and your personality and your interests? How do those all work together to find you the best type of job?
How long take for the test, like an hour?
Oh, no, probably 30 minutes at the most, if you know how to use a computer. Let's talk about challenging your false beliefs. One of the things that we hear a lot is, I'm too old. No one wants to hire me, I'm too old. But let's rethink that. What does age give us? Experience, knowledge, wisdom, right? A wonderful work history, and employers are looking for employees they can trust and who's going to stick around. You know why? Because it's expensive for employers to hire people just to have them turn around and leave for the next job. So if you think you're too old, let's rethink that. Maybe you think you're too young, but what does youth offer the workplace? Any ideas? How about really great knowledge with modern technology, right? What employer doesn't want to save money with efficiency? Younger employees can offer some efficient ideas. But bottom line is, employers want someone they know that's going to stick around, someone who's going to be a good value for their pay. Let's talk about connecting. Sometimes this word is networking. Who here has ever heard of networking? Who wants to give us a definition of what you think networking is without reading this? What does it mean to network or connect in your words? Right, mingle, talk to people, connect, find out what it is they have to offer. What is it they're looking for, and you tell them what you're looking for. Here are some ways, some ideas to connect. Informally, casually, your friends and neighbors. Maybe you belong to a church group or you volunteer somewhere. Get the word out that you're looking for work, and also tell them what you can do. What type of work are you looking for now? Formal, who's ever attended a job fair? There's one coming up at the expo, Career Expo. Yes. You always go to the job fair, right? It's an enormous place. It's usually at Century 2. A lot of employers are there. A lot of schools are there. We're there through the Workforce Center. Okay. Great place to formally network. You'll want to dress up for something like that. Informational meetings. A lot of companies will have a job that a lot of interest is generated. They might have a meeting for everyone who's interested in that job to come and listen. Listen to them talk about the jobs. And we'll talk about informational interviews in just a moment. Now, I would like to formally introduce who I am. I'm going to do this by networking. I'm going to tell you, if I were a job seeker, this is probably what I would say to you. If we've crossed on the street and I find out that you're looking for work too, hey, I'm looking for work. This is what I'm going to tell you, some basics about who I am and what I have to offer. My name's Lori Ellison Zurcher. I have a lot of experience in management, specifically with federal programs that help empower people to get jobs. Currently, I'm looking for a type of work where I can continue to empower people, whether through employment or through training. I am one of only 13 certified workforce development professionals in the entire state of Kansas, one of only 25 certified job developers in the state of Kansas. I have a master's of human relations, and I have a mini master's of public administration. I would be a great fit for a company because with me, they're going to get a value, they're going to get experience, and they're also going to get some useful energy that I have and enthusiasm, not only to help my customers, but I can also help the workplace culture as well. So what I've done is simply stated the answer to each one of these questions in an effort to network. So now you know who I am, what I have to offer, and what I'm looking for. And that's all you need to do. Would anyone here want to give this a try, just to answer the questions? Any brave souls out there? Okay, well, I'm not going to force you to, but if you'd like, you can do some networking right here. How exciting is that? Okay, not very. Okay. Well, we'll move on. And why is it important to network and connect? Because most of the jobs that are available are not advertised. And why do you suppose that is? It's expensive. It's expensive for employers to advertise. It's expensive for them to recruit. It's expensive for them to pay their hiring managers to interview a whole bunch of people who may or may not be qualified for the job, right? And so a lot of times they will just prefer a credible employee to refer them. You know, my cousin's looking for a job and he'd be great for this work. Or I have a friend who's looking for work and has experience in this field. Employers take a lot of credibility with their internal employees who might have a connection. So who you know is a powerful tool, but you don't have to know someone powerful to get your next job. Okay? You just might know someone credible who works for a company that you'd like to work for. And like I said, hearing from credible employees, employers really love that because they've got this built-in referral system. So you know what? Sometimes you don't hear back from an employer after you've applied. It might be because they already know of someone who'd be a good match for the job. So it's in your best interest to connect and network with your peers. Who here has ever been on what's called an informational interview? Anyone? This is something that I hadn't heard of except for the last 2 or 3 years. And it's not an interview for you to get a job. It's an interview for you to go to a company and find out more about the company. What might be a benefit or two of doing an informational interview like this? Any ideas? Right. Is that company a good fit for you as a job seeker? Because that's just as important as if you're a good fit for the company. Very nice. That's exactly right. And it's a great way to get your foot in the door. You have with you a handout that has some sample questions on it that we'd like to give you. And it looks like this. Some sample questions for an informational interview. A lot of the smaller companies love when people take an interest in their company. A lot of the larger companies actually have a department who would be willing to take the time to do an informational interview with you. To get your foot in the door, on the other side, you'll see a little letter you might send to a potential company stating your interest in scheduling an informational interview. So, yes, just in the...
When you make the resume, every time you're looking for a job, you have to put a referral letter in the top.
Sometimes the employer will ask for a referral letter.
More professional, put the letter in the top.
Yeah, she's asking whenever you apply for a job, do you send with it a referral, a letter of recommendation? Certainly if the job posting requests it, then that's exactly what you need to do, right? But oftentimes employers don't want that up front, and you'll just bring it with you to the interview. So something to consider, right? So here are some ideas to spark your next job search. Who here uses any of these ideas? Anyone? Does anyone use the internet to do a job search? Good, good. Very effective way. Does anyone still use newspapers, the classified ads? Take a look at those. Some of us do, sure, sure. Anyone ever go to a job club? What is a job club?
I never heard about one.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about that here. Has anyone here ever been to the Wichita Workforce Center? You have, good. I want to encourage you to at least visit our website, and you can see all the types of services that we have to offer. Maybe. Oops, there we go. We're located at 1st and Main Street, right downtown Wichita, and here is our website. If you check just under job seekers, look at all these services that we have available for you. I'm going to look specifically at this one called Workshops. We have a series of workshops, one about job search success, which includes this particular workshop, but also who here still gets nervous at interviews? Anyone? Right? A lot of anxiety that goes along with that. Here's a great workshop on how to overcome that anxiety. Creating a resume. We talked about that earlier. Resume work. This workshop. Also, we have business skills workshops, like who here needs to know how to use a computer? Does everyone pretty much know how? Do you know how to use Microsoft Word or Excel? We offer those classes at the Wichita Workforce Center, and again, they're all free. There's no cost to you once you register with the Workforce Center. Intermediate, advanced Word, Excel. Okay. If you're a veteran, we have veterans programs, a youth program. Anyway, you just need to stop by and see us, see what we have to offer. Some of us do online job searches. This is kansasworks.com, and what's great about this website is you can do the job search on one website and it'll pull you jobs from other websites too. So you don't have to go to all those other websites like Career Builder and Monster. You can get them all right here in this one website. And again, this is in your handouts. Who here has a LinkedIn profile? Anyone here on LinkedIn? Anyone know what it is? Right. Who here has a Facebook profile? Yeah, some of us do. Now, I need to tell you, LinkedIn and Facebook are not the same thing. Facebook is for fun, and it's for family, it's for casual. LinkedIn is only professional. That's all it is. And it's basically like an online resume. Let me show you one real quick. I have mine pulled up here, but I'm just going to show you what a LinkedIn profile looks like.
It's like you put like resume online?
It is. That's exactly right. It's like an online resume. You have a picture of you, maybe your name, kind of what you do. Here's a summary. If you're a job seeker, this summary, you can change it to look more like a resume and what you're looking for and what your experience is. You have here your work history, just like in a regular resume. And of course, you can tailor it to the job you're applying for, which is really important. Maybe you have certifications, a CNA or something. You can put that on your LinkedIn account. Maybe you've won some awards or you've been honored as a customer service associate or something. You can put that on here. That belongs on LinkedIn too.
What website is this one?
LinkedIn.
It's free or you have to pay something?
It's free. It is free. Some skills and
So,
expertise.
I've always when I open a resume, I had like a little scale. They say public or private, because you know what I mean. A lot of people can use your information.
Well, the thing with LinkedIn is it is for connecting. And so if you're wanting to get your information out there, LinkedIn is the way to do that. A lot of employers will go straight to LinkedIn to look to see who's available and what skills are already out there without them having to pay for all the whole recruiting thing. Maybe you have some past employees or some former friends or current workers
So
who want to recommend you.
That website and looking for people, right?
Right.
And they interested in how they can contact you.
You put your email address on here and they'll just contact you. Yep.
Your phone number.
Right. Put whatever you want out there. What you don't want out there, don't put out there.
Oh, okay.
That's all. Maybe now it's time to take the civil service exam. Work for the state of Kansas. They have a great website here, a jobs link here. Okay. Here are some other options for you. If you're over the age of 55, the senior services down at Downtown Senior Center on Walnut, they have a Tuesday morning job club just for seniors. I see you nodding your head. Maybe you're not a senior, but you want to be a part of a job club, Team Up Careers. Again, this information is on your handout. Or there's the good old classifieds. Anything that you find in the Sunday paper will probably be online too. And guess what? You can look for them all right here. Just type in the keyword, type in receptionist or engineer or what have you, and they'll all come up. everything that's been advertised. Maybe it's time to start your own business. Maybe you have a skill or expertise that you think you can start making money off. The Kansas Small Business Development Center is right here. You're in one of their classrooms, and all those services are free too. Hey, what have you been doing? You've been laid off for a couple weeks, couple months, couple years? Are you just sitting around, or are you busy? Maybe you're not getting paid to do work, maybe you're volunteering, but employers love to see that you're not doing just nothing. Okay? They want to know that you're staying busy and you're staying current on your skills. Or maybe temp service is the way to go. You haven't worked for a long time, consider Manpower or LSI Staffing. You might get a temporary job that can turn into a full-time job. Their office is just over on Douglas in Old Town. You'd quickly just fill out a profile and give them a call. Okay, we're running out of time here, so maybe you just graduated from Wichita area VOTEC, and they have a very invested interest in their students getting jobs. Or maybe you're at WSU and now you're looking for work. They have a vested interest in their students getting jobs. Okay, so look to your current school or your previous school and see if they might have some sort of job seeker services. Or maybe temporary day labor is the way to go. With day labor, what you would do is you show up at, like this company, for example. You show up in the morning, maybe you'll get to work that day. They'll pay you that day, and there's no guarantee that you would get to go again the next day. But it's a day-by-day deal. And then research, maybe just get out a phone book here and pull out a phone book and look into your industry and see what's available.
What is the agency, Labor Max?
Labor Max is just...
I never heard that. You have to apply it online or you go in person?
They have a website here, and it's in your handout. I would go to the website and find out and maybe give them a call. Now, in order to be successful, you need to develop an action plan. And in your handout, what you have is an example of an action plan for the week. To stay organized, you develop a primary goal for the week, and then you develop steps to get to that goal. And it helps you keep track of all that stuff. So determining a goal and a deadline is very helpful to get you where you need to go. And when you're tracking a job search, here are some things to keep in mind. When did you contact that company? Who did you talk to? What's the phone number? You know, all those basics. Keep a track of all that, and this again is in your handouts. Now, when you're trying to stay organized, there's a couple of ways to do this. Maybe you prefer the traditional way of using a paper 3-ring binder with dividers. Regardless of how you decide to do it, make sure you try to keep all the information in one place. So, for example, let's say here you apply to Fidelity Bank. Oops, in this example. In this little folder, on this electronic version, you would keep your cover letter, the resume you sent, any correspondence, maybe even the job application you filled out. And so when they call you back for that interview, you know which job you applied for. Because there's nothing worse than getting called back for interview and you're not quite sure what you applied for with that company. Right, right. So having this all organized this way is just perfect.
I applied on Rescare 2 days ago.
Rescare?
Yeah, I applied in the nighttime and they called me and they give me an interview.
They did. Good for you.
I have all the skills, but they don't give me the job because I have 3 speeding tickets.
Oh no, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, time will handle that, right? If you don't get any more speeding tickets. Okay, well, our time is just about up. I want to encourage, oh, Chad, did you want to say something?
That should be in their business, actually.
And also, there should be a reflection page on your table, a little half sheet. And that is your ticket for your little golden prize ticket. So you'll trade that reflection to me for the full tickets that I'll give you. And if you do that for us, that would be great. And then head down to the main auditorium where we started this morning.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, and I'll be here if you want to ask some questions. I'll be happy to answer.